On September 16th, 2008, a user posted a thread on Nichan accompanied by a photo. When I got back from a business trip, there were 5 letters waiting for me in the post. There was no stamp or address on any of them, which means they must have been put in directly. It was the start of a live mystery that would span several threads over 2 days, before finally reaching its terrifying conclusion. The user began by sharing photos of the 5 letters he'd received. He couldn't place the order they were supposed to be read in, other than the first and last letters, but this didn't seem to matter much as they were largely incomprehensible anyway. The first letter started mostly normally. Asamu Sakuto-sama. Hello. It's been a long time. Nice to meet you. Do you by any chance remember me? I remember the first time I met you every single day. I believe this was fate. It was here that the letters descended into what can only be described as madness. Much of what the person, who signed off at the end as Rera, said was largely incomprehensible. When my eyes turned red and pure white, I was able to see inside you. Sorry for my messy writing. I can't move my hand very well. You have moments like this, right? My pet friends are probably the same. The woman continued, mentioning that she had just been let out of the hospital, which was why she was writing the letter. After a few more confusing pleasantries, she ended the first letter with, I keep hearing a song. In my eyes, my ears, my heart, my brain, the air, all around. I'll write again soon. Why? Rera. The user had no idea who this Asamu Sakuto person the letters were addressed to was. It certainly wasn't him, and he didn't know anyone by that name either. He then shared a picture that was included with the first letter, which instantly caught everyone's attention. The picture, presumably a self-portrait of the woman calling herself Rera, showed a woman with red eyes, red lips, and a solid red background. It was creepy, but the worst was yet to come. The original poster, who never gave a name and was simply referred to as the number 1 because he was the first to post, then shared photos of the rest of the letters, along with one more picture. It was this picture that sent the thread into an uproar, and it's not hard to see why. This picture showed a naked woman with 4 arms, 4 legs, eyeballs on various parts of her body and hair, and blood pouring from numerous places. It's a little too gory to show here, so I'll include a link in the description if you want to see it and read the thread in its full glory. Users debated what the picture could mean, and most agreed that the person who drew it had to be at least a little messed up in the head. This was seemingly confirmed by the contents of the other letters, which ranged from incomprehensible ramblings to what appeared to be longing statements for the above-mentioned Asamu Sakuto. Whoever this person was, Rera seemed to be close to him and missed his company. Asamu Sakuto-sama. We met again, huh? How are you today? I'm full of resentment. Why? That person is getting in my way. Whether I'm asleep or awake, they're always watching. These days I'm surrounded by trash. In a few years you will be too, huh? I'm fed up of being inside it like this. I'm gonna eat it all up. Has my voice reached you? Over and over it disappeared and burnt, but I still hear it. Has my voice reached you? Has my voice reached you? Has my voice reached you? Stay happy. Rera. In several letters, Rera misspelt Asamu as Asami, but it wasn't the only mistake she made, making the letters even more difficult to comprehend. The user showed them to his neighbor, but she didn't know anyone called Asamu Sakuto or Rera either. She suggested he call the real estate, but it was already after 7 p.m. on a Tuesday night, so he feared they would already be closed. To Asami Sakuto-sama. I noticed it from the start. When I was punished, I went white, empty, nothing left. Is it still there? I don't know anything anymore. How long has that doll been here? Now it's right behind me. And that's how people are born. I realized it. But it's also true that there are dead people too. I didn't know, but the ink person said it. It's ink, so I ate it. How dirty. Other users started to suspect that Leda was or had been in a relationship with Asamu, who she may or may not have met in the hospital. He may have been another patient or perhaps someone else she met there. Either way, she seemed attached to the man. Asami Sakuto-sama. Hey, are you well? I'm a little okay. Yesterday I made another new friend. You probably don't know them. I mean, you've never met them before, so... To speak honestly for a moment, there is someone I've wished to be apart from for a long time. However, it's not my husband. It's impossible. I'm going to drown. Today again I was unable to become a bird. I feel lethargic. The gods will also be angry if you disappear. If you return, they'll be happy. This is a large problem, so there may be smoke visible. Eat a lot and stay healthy. Next time, it will be over. Leda. The user decided to call his real estate to see if they knew anything about the Ledas. Perhaps Asamu was a previous tenant. The user had only moved into the apartment 4 months earlier from another city and, at the time, didn't know anyone and had no friends nearby. Other users continued struggling to understand Leda's letters. Asami Sakuto-sama. That December day was wonderful, huh? We only spoke a little and yet I was... It still smells fishy. Have you heard? The weather is fine today, but soon it will be swallowed by darkness. It's no good. Doesn't look like they'll forgive us. Yet for some reason, some are happy with that. Do you enjoy sex? It's so dark that I can't see. Is the cat still crying? In this unfair reality, I only reunite with that sad woman and throw everything up. Strange, right? It's been decided what must happen, so all I can do is do it. Wonderful. Leda. After getting through to the real estate, the user was able to dig up some information. Apparently, this wasn't the first time someone at his apartment had received letters like that. The person who lived in the apartment before him had also received strange letters, and as a result, ended up moving out. This, of course, didn't make him feel any better. What was so bad that the previous tenant had to move out over it? The user was able to get further information from his real estate that revealed the previous tenant before that one had been stalked 4 years earlier. Every day this man received strange letters in the mail, just like he had, and this went on for over a month. The woman sending the letters then started hanging out in front of his apartment and constantly ringing the doorbell. The man informed the real estate of what was going on, but he refused to go to the police and, before long, put in a request to move. Eventually, the woman's mother showed up and informed both him and the real estate that her daughter had been hospitalized and she was sorry for all the trouble. Other users still continued to argue over whether the letters and story were fake or not, to which the user joked that he wished it was all fake. By 8:30 p.m., 2 hours after the thread started, a clearer picture was beginning to form. Apparently, the real estate got in contact with Leda's mother, and they were able to confirm a few points to pass on. After hearing from the real estate, Leda's mother reportedly called her daughter to check if what she had heard was true. Leda reportedly refuted that she had done anything, and hung up. The mother then called her fiancé, who she lived with in Sendai. Sendai happened to be the same city the user lived in, meaning she lived nearby. The fiancé confirmed Reda had recently bought stationery, but their differing work schedules meant they didn't see each other a lot, so he didn't know what she was up to most of the time. Worried, the mother told the real estate she was going to drive to Sendai to see her daughter right away. It would seem that, if everything was true, she was worried her daughter might be relapsing. Much like Kisaragi Station, in which users followed Hasabi's real-time reports as she got lost in a strange, unknown place, users followed the strange story of Reda the Stalker and her mysterious letters in real time, as the original poster relayed the information he was able to dig up. They attempted to solve the mystery for themselves, while pestering the original poster with questions for even more information. As the story developed, Reda apparently disappeared from home, setting the entire thread on edge. Many feared that she was on her way to the user's house as they spoke, and judging by the contents of her letters, nobody knew what would happen once she got there. And just as they suspected, she did. At 9:40, 3 hours after starting the thread, the user posted that someone was outside his front door. It was locked, but he could hear someone scratching on the other side. The user called the police, and before long the scratching turned to knocking and constant doorbell ringing. The police eventually arrived, although the woman was gone by that time, and the user disappeared for several hours to go to the station for questioning. Upon returning, he informed the thread of what had gone down, although privacy laws meant he wasn't privy to many of the finer details. He also met Reda's mother at the station, and again, she apologized profusely for her daughter's actions before he returned home. Yet, when he got home, he found a new letter in the mailbox. This one, in the same handwriting, simply stated, "I'll be back." It seemed that Reda had returned in his absence. The user, understandably freaked out, informed everyone he was going to hand the note to the police the following day, as it was already after midnight, and also informed the real estate of his intentions to move as well. He returned the following night at 10 p.m. with an update on everything that had gone down during the day. In short, the woman who wrote the letters was indeed the daughter of the mother he had met at the police station. Reda, it turned out, was an online name she used to go by, and Asamu Sakuto was the online name of a man she met on a dating site when she was only in junior high. She had numerous troubles as a teen and was hospitalized, although she continued her relationship with Asamu. Eventually, it took a turn for the worse, and Reda started stalking him, which led to the events the user had earlier heard about from the real estate. The police then found Reda earlier that day, when she showed up for work, and they questioned her but didn't have much luck, as she was about as incoherent as her letters. The user decided that he still wanted to move after hearing everything, and the real estate showed him to a new place that very same day. To make up for the fear her daughter caused him, the mother offered to pay for his moving fees, and that, it seemed, was the end of matters. The terrifying saga of the letters came to a close. The user made his final post just before midnight on September 17th, well over 24 hours after it all began. Other users were left confused, however. Was this a real story? An elaborate hoax? At the very least, the letters existed. There were pictures of them. But they could have been easily written by the user himself. To the very end, he claimed they were real and never returned to say otherwise. He disappeared after that final post and never surfaced again. Another user, however, noticed something interesting in the opening and closing characters of all 5 letters. They spelt out, "Kore wa tsuri da." This is a fake. Was it a fake? Or was it just a weird coincidence? Until the very end, the user claimed his story to be real, but had everyone been played? To this day, people still debate it, and although it's not exactly up there with the likes of Kisaragi Station, it's still fondly remembered as one of the Nii-chan classics that took people for a weird, lengthy ride in real time. Was Rera a real person? Was she stalking people and leaving disturbing, incomprehensible letters in their mailbox? If so, what was to stop her from doing it again in the future? And if not, had everyone been played for fools? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.